The setting is beautiful, as you can see. But yes, it's going to be a little humid. And given my questions, you can sweat a bit. Okay? But I'll try and be nice.
Thanks, Satya. Thank you.
Could you introduce yourself to the audience?
Thanks. First, thanks for having me here. And with you, you know that I'm absolutely prepared for any kind of questions. So, hi everybody. I'm Rana Barua. I'm the Group CEO of Havas for the entire region, which is India, Southeast Asia, and North Asia, which is Japan and Korea. And this is something that I've been doing for the last 8 years, which is managing all the group operations of creative media and parts of health across all these markets.
Awesome. We're going to have some warm-up rapid-fire questions just to get you kind of warmed up. Goa or hill station? Trick question.
Very easy for me. Goa.
Favorite Google product and why?
Off late, absolutely obsessed is with Gemini. It's a lifeline for me.
Awesome. Goa Fest 2026 or Goa Fest 2025?
Now that's not a good question, and that's something you're asking why. I would also say Goa Fest 2026.
So folks, for those who don't know it, Rana is what is affectionately referred to as a past president of the ad club, and he was a big part of Goa Fest 2025, as he is a part of Goa Fest 2026.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now that you're all warmed up, let me ask you a question. If you had the opportunity to work with 10 awesome YouTube creators for a campaign versus one big Bollywood star, what would you go for?
And not to flatter you here, I would go with YouTube creators.
Okay, awesome. And can you give me an example of some amazing work that you've done or something, maybe in a campaign that caught your eye that you really liked in that space?
There are many. It's not one in particular, but I think, I wouldn't be able to specify one, but I think we've been using this whole world in a very strong way, and not for any reason of trying to be disrespectful to any clients. But I think, when we see the entire impact of the way you can use YouTube and the kind of work that is happening, I think it's absolutely fantastic. So,
Awesome. We've been working very closely with Havas for the past many years. Love your work culture. But could you tell us a little bit more about the culture at Havas?
So I think, what we built over the, last few years, and it naturally comes very clearly from the top. It's a very entrepreneurial kind of a system, very much, I would presume, the way you all work. We've got a lot of freedom on the floor. We don't necessarily work like what you call as a network agency. We are a network agency, but on the nature of being an entrepreneur allows you to take a lot of risks. So there's a lot more of, I would say there's a lot more of fun on the floor, because that, you are a challenger brand. You're not among the top 1, 2, 3 or something. So if you are a challenger brand, you are always trying to, challenge the norms, or you're trying to create some disruption, which means you cannot follow the right track. So we encourage people to take risks. We encourage people to go out and do something different, because we know that if you have to be better than the rest, then you have to work in a different way. But I think this entrepreneurial approach has allowed definitely leaders like me, and I know of many leaders across the world who work in Havas, who all hold the same thing, that it allows you to take decisions, allows you to empower people, allows you to, work in structures which are not necessarily very cumbersome, very bureaucratic. It just allows you to make, things happen quicker. And we can see that of the last few years, a lot of strong results are coming out of the group is because of the nature of how we work.
And actually, I'm going to corroborate everything you said, and I'll give you an example. About a month ago, with a lot of partners that Google works with, we actually shared some agents, right, that we had created, which they could use in their work processes and all of that. And we shared it simultaneously to everyone. Guess which agency used them first and made those agents better?
Havas?
Yes.
Wow, that's so good to hear.
It's really great to see that. Yeah, and I think I also must comment on the fact that a great time for also folks to understand about the acquisitive nature of your operations in India, because we saw when you did some acquisitions, it really gave you like a multiplier effect.
Yes. So basically what, the group naturally believes in that, and it's naturally a very strong belief that, we are of a certain size and scale. So, but we look for expertise that complements. You don't necessarily acquire because of growing your top line or you want to just become larger. That's not going to help. So anybody who's trying to look at it that way, I don't think that's the right approach. So you keep the business model in mind, which allowed us to naturally acquire in spaces which we knew would grow in the near future, or clients are going to ask far more, versus just adding another agency or adding some expertise. So that allowed us to expand and exponentially grow. So that's helped. And what's better for us is that these groups and these agencies that we brought on board have not only integrated well, some of them are, the leaders are absolutely some of the best in the business. So when I look back in hindsight, and recently I was talking to some people and all, the kind of respect these guys have, the acquisition agencies that we brought on board, you feel good that they were good acquisitions, great expertise, and great talent. And, I think that's where you start ticking by saying, okay, I think we did a good job on this one.
Awesome. We're in 2026 right now. What is the most exciting project that you're working on that you can obviously share for this year or beyond?
So I think what we are trying to do, and this is something, and I've been answering this to some people and also to clients. I think we are definitely seeing a lot more of, I will use a word which again a lot of people will look at me and say that, oh, everybody says that and all. So we have this village philosophy. I don't know whether you're aware of it. Yeah. So Havas believes, and we call it as Havas, which is one Havas, which is a village philosophy where we practically get all agencies and expertise and to work together. And our chairman Yannick keeps telling, every time he sees the creds deck or he sees anything of a slide, he says, and I completely believe in that, because I think earlier I used to struggle understanding this point, because I was expanding acquisitions and building more, and my point was, okay, I'm going to go to a client and show how big I am. I've got so many agencies, so many expertise, and then I started realizing the clients are actually not looking for that. Okay, they want a solution, they want a communication solution, or they want a business solution, and they want it from an agency, let's say Havas. So we are working much more aggressively on what we call it as our integration model, because since I have the position where I'm sitting on running all the businesses of a singular P&L, so you can manage and work with a lot more of clients as a uniform solution versus A expertise or a B or C. So I think one big conversation, and naturally, I will, it's not, we are all working on business solutions like AI, or somebody's working on creative, somebody's trying to make media more, effective and performing. But I think the larger conversation where my personal focus is, if I can bring this house and work together across clients, I think that will be amazing, because I don't know if you're aware that only in India, when we look at the unique clients that Havas has, it's over 1,000.
Wow.
Unique. Now imagine if I can just convert 10%, 5%, okay, forget it, but 10% might be too ambitious. If I can just get those 5% to work across multiple agencies or multiple verticals, I really don't need to go out and start pitching. Yeah. Of course, I'll still do that. But imagine if I can just convince those clients, a creative agency client, that, come and work with my media agency or performance. A performance agency working with my PR agency working with an experiential agency. It's amazing. So I think it's not the easiest, but we are definitely finding, and I'm, more clients I'm talking to, they're opening up, and, my results are naturally getting better. What we inwardly track as, okay, let's see your integration numbers and how many agencies are working together. They're looking far better every year.
And how can Google partner with you in this?
I think Google's expertise in this whole world of, whether it's consumer data or the kind of tools that you have and the kind of advanced world and, conversations we work very closely with you. You know that, whether it's Havas Media or Pivot Roots and all, we work extremely close, and they will, it's a symbiotic relationship. So, I think one of the places that actually I keep telling you, and Satya, you and I have had this chat about, it's getting the talent to understand how Google can actually work in a much larger scale. Is about getting more, tech tools into the whole system and all. Wonderful. And number two, definitely, because there's so much information, so much data assimilation. One of the struggles we have, and you're right, we probably get it much easier because we have many AI tools and agents that we are working with. We have our own inward where we work with across, whether it's Gemini and your competitive ones also, but it's not easy. Let's be very clear. Sometimes when you're trying to assimilate data, technology or data points and all, it's not easy. I think Google can definitely be a very strong partner, because I'm okay with the media agency working very closely with you and everything, but I would want to know how many creative agencies, or let's say the creative networks, are actually benefiting.
No, that's a huge opportunity, and let's take that up.
Let's take that up. Yeah, I would definitely love to work on that. That will really benefit.
Let's change gears a little. Let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room and not the present president, right? Is this AI? You talked about Gemini as one of your favorite products. So what is Rana currently using AI for?
So I use, to be honest with you, I use, let's say AI or let's say Gemini for multiple reasons. And, actually there are others also, but I'm finding each one differentiated in its own way. There are 3 or 4 things which I definitely do. One is I depend on it a lot for my health. This is serious stuff. Like I really spend a lot of time trying to understand, trying to figure out various conversations on exercise plans, on diet plans, and it's fascinating. The kind of combinations it's been giving me for the last few months, I probably changed a lot on that. So
I see that it's working.
Yeah, thank you. So that's one. And I think I will give it all kudos to it because with due respect to all personal trainers or people who are actually, they're very good. The kind of stats and data that are. So the second one that I think I focus a lot is that, I use it a lot for business purpose also. I mean, it's not necessarily for strategy or something, but I use it for a lot of business conversations and purpose. Yes, of course, with time you've started kind of expertising the prompts and all. So I think I've become much smarter than before because earlier it used to be much more open-ended, but I'm getting much more specific answers and I definitely use a lot of those inputs into my conversations. But yeah, I would, I don't know, when I look at people and they have various points of view on it, I think it's a fascinating thing to have.
Fantastic. Goa Fest, I know, is very close to your heart. Sure. For a new marketer who's, heard about Goa Fest or wanting to come to Goa Fest, give them a reason to come to Goa Fest.
I see. It's again, I think, we've always been saying it for a while. This is India's largest awards, right? It's our awards. It's by the industry, for the industry. So I think that, for any marketer, and every marketer wants to, have that 15 seconds of fame or whatever, this is the place to be. Because you meet everybody here. Yeah. And this time, I'm seeing some fascinating number of clients out here. This is marvelous to see that. I think they must encourage, must attend and must see the sessions and you get a feel of the whole industry, which is
like the fantastic session on agentic that happened today. Yeah, that one. I know. Absolutely. Good one. Let's now turn our attention to this crystal ball, right? There are some numbers in it, right? Let's give it like a shake so that, some of those numbers are not visible. Pick one chit and whatever chit you pick up, there'll be a number on it. What is the number there?
Nothing.
Let's do it again. Good one.
Fine.
Okay, good. That's the amount of words or number of words that you can use to answer this question. 5 words. Okay, and I'll give you 10 seconds to think. So we get it absolutely right because some other folks have not stuck to that number. Okay, but I want you to because I know you're capable of doing it.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much.
Okay. Is the CMO of 2030 more creative or more technical? 5 words.
Just repeat the question.
It's a tough one, right?
Yeah, that's why.
Is the CMO of 2030, so now we're talking future, more creative or more technical? What do you think they should be? 5 words.
So I would say neither.
You finished?
No. Okay, start. Neither. More well-rounded.
More well-rounded. 1 word to go. Since you're doing this so well, I'll give you another chance. Let's look into the crystal ball again.
Where's that 1? Oh shit, that's 7.
Okay, yeah. You have now 6. Okay, 6 or 9. Okay. The biggest myth about leadership.
How many words?
I think let's go with 6.
So I probably have it in 4.
Okay.
I know it all.
I know it all. Elaborate.
In how many words?
As many as you want now.
So I think the biggest myth in leadership is that leadership is all about a constant learning.
Yes.
Anybody who comes and believes or feels that I know it all, and you can see it across, you see it in the world of sports, you see it in the world, in our world, anyway. Anybody who believes that I know it all and this is how things are supposed to happen, definitely is a leader who has to stop on his tracks and learn and take a pause.
Has it ever happened to you? With,
yes, it has.
As in you?
As personally, it's my own learning because you feel sometimes when you take on a job or a profile and you believe that because you are on that position, you've been taken on and you think, oh, I'm supposed to give all the decisions. So you believe I know it all. And then you realize that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lead the way with the team and the people, which means you also learn on the ropes. So I think anybody who says I learn it all, stop.
Awesome. No, thanks for being so candid and sharing.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks
so
so much.
Satya. Thank you very much.